This 5th grade class is beginning a unit on Shakespeare. The teacher has her students listen to a CD to discover their new topic of study.
I'm going to listen to something on a CD, and I'm going to see if that will help spark any of your guys' imaginations and see if you can figure out what it is that we're going to be studying.
Oh, Romeo, Romeo, wherefore art thou, Romeo? Deny thy father and refuse thy name, or, if thou wilt not, be but sworn my love, and I'll no longer be a Capulet.
Okay, does anyone have an idea what we might be studying? Wyatt, what do you think?
Shakespeare.
Shakespeare, exactly. How many of you have ever heard this before? What we just listened to. Do you know what play that's from? Colton, what play is that from?
Romeo and Juliet.
Romeo and Juliet, exactly. Now, how many of you think that Shakespeare is kind of confusing? Me too. I think he's kind of confusing sometimes too. Because you understand all those words, right? You've heard all those words before, but he kind of puts them together in a different order. And so it's kind of hard to understand sometimes, especially when you're just listening to the words.
The students then watch a movie clip of the same scene.
This is going to be the exact same scene, and we'll see if it makes any more sense now that you can actually see the people and what they're talking about. Okay, so what's going on? Alex.
Right at the end there, Juliet finds out that Romeo is there because he yells out or something.
And could you exactly understand the words that he said and what they meant? No, but you could kind of tell what was going on, right? Because you could see their faces, and you could kind of see where they were at in relationship to each other. Or what do you think, Brooke?
They like each other.
They like each other. Do they just like each other? No. How do they feel about each other, Taylor?
They love each other.
They love each other, exactly. And you didn't actually hear them say, you didn't actually hear Romeo say, "Oh, Juliet, I love you," but you knew that he was in love with her. How did you know that? Beth?
Because he was spying on her.
He was spying on her. How else did you know, Jared?
Because he was talking all that mushy talk.
He was talking mushy talk. You could just tell by the way that he said his words that he was saying them softly and very intensely, and probably that he was in love with her. So good job. So you may not understand exactly what they're saying, but when you actually see it, you can kind of get the big picture, the big idea, right? And that's kind of what we want to get out of our unit as we're studying Shakespeare. We want to get the big ideas and the big pictures out about Shakespeare so that when you go on to study Shakespeare and really focus on the words that he's saying and the words he uses in his writing, when you're in high school probably, that it'll be easier because you'll already understand kind of the big picture of some of his plays. My activity today focuses on a web quest that I created that is based on Shakespeare. And what we did today was I wanted the students to get more of an idea about who Shakespeare was and what he did, when he lived, just basic background information. So they researched on the internet just to find out information about him, and then they will put that into a 1 to 2 page word process report.
The teacher hands out a sheet that contains sayings from Shakespeare's plays, and she asks the students to identify the sayings they recognize.
Beth.
Dead as a doornail.
Dead as a doornail. I was talking with Taylor about that one. What do you think it means, Beth?
To be really quiet.
Could be to be really quiet. What kind of gives you a tip-off there? That you'd need to be really quiet if you're dead as a doornail. What word? Go ahead. What word? Dead, exactly. Because if someone's dead, are they loud? No. Why do you think it says as a doornail?
The students will be working with partners to write reports about William Shakespeare. The teacher asks the students to discuss good ways to work with a partner.
Tell me something that I should see from you if you're working with a partner. Something that I should see.
Don't fool around.
Yep, kind of like what Colton was saying. Not to fool around, get right to work. Yep, be focused on what we're doing. Go ahead.
Don't talk with your friends if it's not about what you're doing.
Should we be talking about the football game last Friday? Or what we did this weekend? Or what you're going to do today after school? No. When's a good time to talk about those things?
Recess.
Exactly. Recess or before or after school.
In the computer lab, the students will be using a WebQuest to conduct their research. The teacher and students discuss how WebQuests are used.
So you guys have all done a WebQuest on Harry Potter, right? Did you guys like using the WebQuest?
Yeah.
Yeah? Did you spend most of your time in the classroom or in here when you were working on the WebQuest? Why did you need to be in here? Because that's where the computers are. And what did you use the computers for? Alex.
We went on the internet to Mr. Shea's website he made, and it has like questions and stuff on it.
Mm-hmm.
They then get a preview of the Shakespeare unit by talking about the various sections of the WebQuest. The students read and discuss the information on the introduction, task, and process pages of the WebQuest.
Okay, this is our WebQuest. This is what I designed for us to use to study Shakespeare. This is our home page, so if you ever click on this button right here that says Home, that's exactly where you'll get. Why don't we all read all these buttons over here on the side together? Okay, here we go. Home, Introduction, the task, the process, evaluation, conclusion, credits and references, and teacher page. Now, home, introduction, the task, the process, and evaluation. These top 5 right there are about the only ones that you guys are going to use. Okay, the rest of these you can kind of ignore. We will look at conclusion later, but that will be at the very end since it says conclusion. So what do you need to do besides write a play? It lists a few other things. Alex, what's one of your other responsibilities?
After you write it, you have to perform it.
Yep, you're going to perform your play. Exactly. What else, Sadie?
You need to gather your costume, props, and unnecessary stuff.
Yep. Some of you are going to be on what's called the props committee. Some of you will be on the costumes committee. And what's the third one that's listed there? It says gather all necessary props and costumes. And then what does it say after that? What was that word? Alex.
Publicize.
Publicize. That word is kind of like the word publicity that we had last week in our vocabulary. What did that mean? What did publicity mean? Kyle, do you remember?
Like you advertise something?
Exactly, you advertise something. So if it says publicize the performance, what does that mean? You're going to advertise the performance. You're going to let people know about what we're doing if you'll work with other people. But before you can get to that, you have to complete a few other activities. Because before you can write a play for William Shakespeare, you probably need to know a little bit about him, a little bit about how he writes, maybe read some things that he's written before to get some ideas about how he writes. So before we can actually start writing, we need to build up kind of that background knowledge so we have some good ideas and we have a good foundation that we can use to write a play that's fit for the Queen and that kind of sounds like something that William Shakespeare would write.
Our first job is to look up on like the websites that are listed below and find out information and write a report.
Exactly. You're going to work with one other person to look up some information and then write a report. If you scroll down, this says websites to use to gather information. So all these things underneath here are all websites, and these are the names of the websites, and these are what are called hot links. So if you put your mouse over them, you get the hand, which means you can click on it, and it'll take you directly to that website.
The teacher then reviews the 4 parts of a report.
Colton, what goes in the body?
The section of your report will present the main ideas and specific details. This is where you will answer questions and describe the information you found. So it's like the main part.
Exactly. Kind of the meat of your report, right? All the details and all the facts. And most of that main stuff is what you're going to put in your body.
The students are also given an outline to fill out as they begin to piece together their papers. The students are then asked to find the answers to both factual and inferential questions about William Shakespeare, and then include that information in their written reports. The teacher first defines these terms and then gives the students examples of both types of questions.
There are factual questions and inferential questions. What's a factual question? Colton, what's a factual question?
One that you've read and you know it's true.
Exactly. You can find the answer to that question very easily. You can see it written someplace. How many of you have read Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs? If I asked the question, what were the names of the seven dwarfs? Could you find that if you were actually reading the story? Yeah. Does it say the names of the seven dwarfs are Grumpy, Happy, Sleepy, Dopey, Doc? Okay, so that would be a factual question because you can actually read the information to figure out where it's at. What about an inferential question? One idea that I came up with for Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs is the question, which dwarf was Snow White's favorite? Does it ever say in the book that Happy is Snow White's favorite dwarf? Or that Doc is Snow White's favorite dwarf? No. But you could probably find some things in the story that give you an idea about which dwarf is Snow White's favorite.
When he was born and where he lived.
Okay, when was Shakespeare born? Good factual question.
The students then write their own questions on the board. The teacher demonstrates how to copy information from a website and paste it into an AppleWorks document.
Say that this paragraph right here, this information, answered one of my questions, and this is what I wanted. I wanted to copy and paste this so that I could print it out later. I'm going to put my cursor right up here next to William. You see where it's at right there? Right next to William. And I'm going to click on it, and then it highlights my text. See how it changed color? It highlighted my text. Then I'm going to let up on my mouse, go to Edit, and Copy. And what that's doing is it's making a copy of all those words or of that paragraph so that I can paste it into something else or some other place. It's blank, there's nothing there yet, because we need to paste in what it is that I just copied. So I'm going to go up to Edit and down to what?
Paste.
Paste, exactly. Edit, paste, and there it is.
The students will be graded using a rubric the teacher has created.
You can see that there are 4 main things that I'm going to be looking for in your report. And if you want to get 1 point on students use pre-writing skills or their outline properly, all you have to do is include a few main ideas and very little details. That's all you have to do. But if you want to get all 4 points, then it says students included all main ideas and all details. Now what do you think? Do you want to get 1 point or 4 points? 4 points, exactly.
After choosing the questions they will answer, the students search for the information they need on the websites provided in the WebQuest. Some students also use a CD-ROM to locate information.
We don't know what year it is.
When he was born. This is the year of his baptism.
Okay. And he was how old when he was baptized?
5.
He was 5, so if he was... When was he born? Do you remember?
April 23rd.
Oh, but you don't know what year. That's what you're trying to say.
Should we just minus it from that?
Well, if he was baptized April 26, 1564, and he was 5 years old when he was baptized.
This would be 1564 minus 5.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have an answer?
You can figure it out. What's 5 minus 64?
59.
There you go.
So 15. Okay, that answers the number.
6 weeks later, the students have finished their study of Shakespeare and have written and rehearsed their plays. They have also worked in committees to gather costumes, make props, and publicize the performance. The students perform the plays for their families and other community members.
She loves me not. She loves me not. That's the second flower today. Give me another flower, Walter.
It will be better, you know this.
I hope so. Good night, everybody. Good night.
Ah! Get your filthy hands off me! Help!
Fiona, are you in there?
Yeah! I'll go get your dog. Hurry! Your eyes are as pretty as the morning dew. Your hair is as golden as the sun. I wish you would have said I do. I wish we were together as one. Your skin is as soft as silk. I like the way you laugh. I love the way you sip your milk. You're much prettier than a cat. I hope I'm prettier than a cat! Your voice is as sweet as candy. Your heart must be made out of pure gold. If you married me, I would come in handy. I would be very bold. I would love you forever, my dear. The end is coming near. Well, his heartbeat is on hold for now.
After the performances are finished, the teacher portraying William Shakespeare offers positive comments to each troupe.
You're never catching crap. Your costume. Wow. Nice job. Thank you, Mother. Quick scene changes, which kept everybody in here glued to what you were doing and what the next scene was going to be. You set a table out here, and rather than sit somebody on this side, so their back was to the audience, you sat everybody on this side. Great stage direction, and I know you thought of that yourself, didn't you? Good job. And whoever came up with a line, "Keep your britches on," was an excellent line. Lots of moving, which kept us all interested. And that one line, "Prettier than a calf?" Prettier than a calf? I should hope so. I love the way you threw that out. That was great. And of course, I kept hearing audience members around me kept saying, repeating, "I just love that one line. I'm going to go get your mom."